to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Sober Talk. And my Facebook Messenger is exploding right now with one of the groups that I'm in. Funny thing, the other day they were complaining about an actual topic that's been around a little while. Everyone, a topic that we deal with from time to time: cyber bullies and just bullies in general. And they put a video up where this kid was kind of going off the deep end about bullies and stuff. I'm like, you guys want me to do something with this? I can do something with this. Never heard a response out of the group, so I'm actually probably getting ready to drop that group if they because of that aggravation. It's kind of like, why'd you even bring it up if you're not going to, everyone says, let's do something about this. Let's do something about this. And nobody does anything about it. Well, then you're just talking about it. So it's one of those deals that it's kind of like, let's do something about it. Yeah, let's actually do something about it. So I actually have solutions that if you got a kid being bullied in school, one of your kids being bullied in school, how to deal with that. But I ain't gonna bother, What's going on, Chairman? So that was actually something I ran into. Probably going to talk about a couple different things tonight. And of course, the usual, just life in general. Life is still life, How you doing tonight, Chairman? Didn't get my video loaded like I wanted to. Of course, I had a lot going on yesterday. I have a lot going on today. Hey, J-Dog, welcome to the live, my man. Good to see you. I need to get over there and see you guys. Just got your patch on. Yeah. Take it slow, take it easy. When in doubt, get your feet propped up, And I know that's not, even no matter where the pain is and everything, sit down and or lie down and prop your feet up. I know that sounds silly, but believe it or not, that probably does more than people know. More than people can imagine. So, how's everybody doing tonight? How was your day? Did you do anything that stood out as important? Tell me. And of course, cats are driving her nuts. Oh, really? Watching the Travel Channel. That's awesome, man. I know myself, one of the things that's been on my plate to do for a little while, Princess Faye and I have talked about it, to hit up what's left of Route 66. This is referred to as the mother road to all of us hot rodders. And this is something that I have wanted to do even before I got sober. And obviously I want to film a lot of it. We talked about that. Yeah, I'm a big Route 66. I've always wanted to take the trip. I always thought it ran coast to coast, but it runs from Chicago all the way to to California. But it's been kind of a dream of mine to hit what's left of Route 66 and travel you know, the, you know, the distance in Project Spirit, to say that, to travel it, from Chicago all the way and to hit every road stop. Are you okay?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Cats are fighting.
Oh.
I was trying to get Taylor from getting hurt, but apparently neither one of them cared about it.
Right. Careful. Galaxy's going to be wanting to rush out now.
Yeah, that's why I left the door cracked.
Okay. But that's been kind of especially a sober dream of mine to go on to, because a lot of Route 66 is still kind of there, but a lot of it isn't. But like hit up all those cheesy little road stop diners that still left on Route 66. And of course to hit up like all of the original, like those little road stops, whether it be like these big giant dinosaurs and stuff like that, to hit up all those like those little side stops, that, I mean, most people have forgotten that are still there after all these years. I want to do that. And a lot of people don't realize how cool. There we go. Where was I? But yeah, this has been a sober dream of mine for a long time, and this is something that I've had a dream of doing since before I got sober, because Route 66 is the mother road to hot rodders, and Princess Faye and I talked about it. She's like, "We're doing it. We are doing this. This is something you have always wanted to do. We've got to do this." And you realize how cool that video footage would be from coming in, of travels on Route 66. That'd be one hell of a movie, taking, a car nearly 50 years old onto the mother road. And I mean, that would make a great YouTube movie. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. So I already know a lot of y'all want to help fund that. The links in the below, to grab, start buying up Teespring stuff. Yeah. So that's actually a dream of mine. I might do a video talking about that in more depth. But anyhow, this is sober talk. The 20th was kind of a hard day for me. And let me tell you all why. For those that don't know, March 20th, if you've kept up with the channel, I don't want to go into a whole lot of. Oh, Chairman, you used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I'm sorry, it cut out there for a second, but there you go. I got you. Used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's awesome. I started to learn to play it, and I was getting pretty good at it, but then I just I don't really like this. Dragons. I could see that out of you. I could see that out of you. I actually had two decks that I was working on. One was magicians and dragons, and the other one I was actually working on what I called my Phobia Deck. My Phobia Deck. It was full of spiders and bugs and things like that. And it was specifically designed to, when you seen the cards going down, it was specifically designed to mess with your head so you wouldn't play a good game. That's what it was designed for. I think I still got that deck. You were born in the year of the dragon? 2000? Oh, Chairman, you're a little bit older than me. Not by much. You're only 3 years older than me. Isn't that interesting? For some reason, I kept thinking you were younger. I don't know why. Kept thinking you were younger. But I sent a call out to, one of the groups, and I don't think they poked in, but well, take it as a compliment, because I've looked at your stuff, and I honestly thought you were actually younger than me. Of course, not many things are older than me anymore. Not many things. Um, shoot, you know, I actually have two things in my apartment that is definitely older than me. I'm sorry, three things. Three things. I have an old kerosene burning oil lamp that was made back in the 50s. Um, I have a leather jacket, a fringe leather jacket that I do not wear very often that came out of the 70s when they originally, the fringe leather jackets of the 70s, it came out attached to the Billy Jack movie. Oh, really? Huh. I did not know that. I never knew that. But yeah, I actually have a leather jacket that dates back to the days of Billy Jack, that particular movie, those two movies. Which actually there was more than the two movies. There was even like a movie short. The guy who played him was actually really interesting. Studied Jungian psychology. Heavy into martial arts and stuff like that. Because it's just he was a very interesting character person. The guy who played Billy Jack. The original movie probably the best, but then there was the trial of Billy Jack, and most people tend to forget about that one because it didn't go. It really didn't go well. It didn't, stand out. But yeah, most people don't know that one. I don't wear that jacket very often. Every time I wear it, something bad always happens. But yeah, I actually have, and of course, Project Spirit. That's the oldest things I have in the apartment here at HQ. No, no, I take that back. The axe, the axe that we restored last year. I have no idea when it was made though. Couldn't tell you. Really, I I know about spinal bifida, but I honestly did not know that was a thing for you. Wow. See, I like learning about people that come on the channel as often as I can. And this is probably one of the most dead sober talks I've had in a long time. Um, I'm going to chalk it up to that it's just the weather's getting clear and everybody's out and about. Everyone's wanting to get out here in the States. Um, just one of those things. But that and I've been busy, busy, busy yesterday. I filmed a lot of Try Not to Laugh at Cinnamon Challenge yesterday. I filmed three of them. Three of them. One of them went better than expected. Another one, it was live streamed on one end, but then, oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy. Funny how that works out. Funny how that works out. Um, I was actually, wow. That's crazy, man. With me, I was actually, Princess Pay teases me about this though. I actually have an unusual, and this is literally what doctors refer to it. I have an unusual genetic mutation where certain basically, the muscle on my body is kind of weirdly done. It's laid out kind of weird because on my hip, where there should be muscle to help the body move, it's not there. But I've moved just fine for all these years. And up until I was 30, was extremely flexible until I started having more back issues. For my size, a lot stronger than I'm supposed to be. Because where the muscles are supposed to be is where this is going to help. Nope. There you go. So this is you've been dealing with this a good minute. But I have an unusual genetic mutation, and which I talked about it with one of my kids in live streams before. But then with me and how it all goes together, Um, she teases me all the time, says, "Well, you're a mutant." I was like, "Shut up. That's not even right." So she did. Princess Faye teases me, calls me her mutant every now and then. She hasn't done that in a while, but yeah, she teases me on that one. Um, so yeah, there's that little joke. She teases me about that all the time. But yeah, um, I'm actually a lot stronger than I'm supposed to be because of the way the muscle. So yeah, that's just kind of one of those things. I think the strength thing is just because I won't let anything slow me down. It is what it is. Now tomorrow, there will be Faye's Corner. Um, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be Faye's Corner tomorrow. It's gonna be, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Uh, I have no idea what Princess Faye is gonna work on. I know tonight, if I can get in touch with Ian, I've got something special that I'm gonna tell him, look, man, this is gonna be a pre-record. I don't want anyone to see this. Um, Hey, what's going on, Simon? Welcome to Live. Been kind of a dead start to Sober Talk tonight. Normally, we get a lot more people in here about this time, and it's just been kind of dead tonight. I think a lot of it is that weather's cleared up quite a bit, and a lot of people are just chilling out at home. Um, but no, today I've been pretty busy, kind of doing what I do. Um, been editing, that sort of thing. Yeah. Um, Now I'll get y'all caught up to speed. Today's 25th, the 20th of this month. Tanya, and you all have heard me talk about Tanya. It's the 15-year anniversary of her passing, March 20th. So we passed that up. I try not to talk about it too much because it does still sting, man. For those of you that don't know, it stings still for obvious reasons. But it's just one of those things, you know. Y'all know the story on it. Yeah. Yeah, usually.
I'm gonna sit on the porch and smoke. Listen to the rain.
Okay, baby. But yeah. Yeah, it's been 15 years since her passing. So I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail. It was kind of one of those things that, I don't want to think about it too much. Uh, it's I know she is. I know she's been watching out for me and everything. Um, you having fun there, honey?
What?
I said you're gonna go work on something.
Maybe even that or play a game to kind of wake up all the way. I can't believe I slept for 12 fucking hours. Again, 2 days in a row.
You okay, honey?
I have no time now.
So it's just one of those things that, she's been gone for a little while. But yeah, usually there's a lot more people in here, but I think I think the gangs, the UK gang for the most part, they're all probably kind of chilling out, and I didn't even see hardly any of them go live. And I went on to BUW. Um, I had one of those shots for a title in BUW, and I didn't quite get it. Broken Mike always likes to say that when it comes to my matches, he loves calling them because they get really good. They get really good in a hurry. So I finally took my second loss in BUW today, which I was like, I could cry, but it was a hell of a match. That seems to be the thing. Uh, that he'll put me up against some really top-notch people, and we put on a clinic. So, it just goes to show. Um, but no, as I was talking about, so I've stayed pretty busy today. I've stayed busy, throughout the week. For those that don't know, you know, Tanya was one that uh, was the girl that I had fallen in love with and passed away before I had a chance to tell her I was in love with her. Um, and it was a strange time. It was a real strange time because I was new in sobriety at that time. I didn't know how I was going to pull through that mess. Um, and you know, sober man and I have talked about it since then. And you know, he said, I honestly didn't know if you were going to pull through that mess. He said it was such a tragic thing to have happened so early in your sobriety. He's like, I honestly did not know how you were going to get through that. And he said, I didn't think you were going to pull through. And so to this day, I don't know how in the world you pulled through that mess. He said it was, he's like, you did everything right. He said, but I honestly didn't know if you could do it. He said, and then he said, you did it. He said, there you were. Um, and it's just kind of, he said, it blew my mind. He said, just when you thought you had it all figured out when in sobriety, you didn't. Um, you know, so that's one of those interesting things. He's like, you really pulled it off. He said, you know, you stuck with it. And I said, wasn't my time. Wasn't my time. Wasn't the wasn't the moment to break me. And that's the funny thing about sobriety. If you ever if y'all ever wondered, believe it or not, it's usually not the big stuff like that that breaks you. It's not the big stuff like that that breaks you. It's always the little stuff. The little stuff. You know, car breaks down and leaves you stranded, takes you X amount of hours to get things, you know, to get things right again, or maybe it goes into the next day, whatever. And, you know, that's livable stuff. Yeah, it's still annoying that it happened and you know, you get it all right and everything and you're going back and forth to work again, but that during that time where, you know, everything's kind of unsure how you're going to make it all pull together. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Now I might have to go check that out. But yeah, in my particular case, you know, with, you know, like well, I'm sorry, going last year, was it? Yeah, it was last year. Last year we lost my grandmother, and it's been over a year since her passing. And it's been hard on the family. And but the irony of it is when my grandmother passed, oh really? I get a lot of Star Trek stuff, and I get a lot of stuff from World War II. Actually, from all the world wars. A lot of car. There's a guy that I mean, he's got a pretty good. He does work on stuff, but some stuff that he does, it's like I wouldn't do it that way. But then on the other side of their stuff, it's like, yeah, I would totally do that. Matter of fact, him and I hooked kind of met because we both have Maverick projects, and he's already on his V8 swap for his Maverick and was doing some stuff. As a matter of fact, when he did his front disc brake conversion on his Maverick, the irony of it was at the same time I was doing mine, and he did his totally different than how I did mine. Uh, he bought this aftermarket kit. I think it actually came from eBay, and it was like you had to use this part with this part and everything. Oh, really? Yep. I get a lot of World War II stuff in. Of course, I study a lot about history. But what ends up he gets, you know, when he was doing his front disc brake conversion at the same time as mine, he had this kit, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally not going that route because I seen the same kit. I almost bought the same kit, but I'm like, you have to use this part with this part, and it was just like a hodgepodge of parts. And I'm like, I don't like this, so I'm not doing that. What I in turn did though is I went to the old school and did like this big buildup. And we ended up I spent about $400 more on mine, but he turned around when he seen that. He's like, actually, I should have done it your way. He's like, the way I did it, he said, it's not near, he's like, it'll work, but it won't be nearly as safe as what you did. And he's actually putting a fuel injected 302 in his, but he's making modifications that I'm sitting there, like one modification he made, it's like, you're going to need to deal with this. It's not going to work the way that you're doing it right now. Um, the cross section, the little crossbars that connect inside the engine bay, they're there for a reason. Well, he cut sections out of one of them, and that piece now doesn't have the strength it's supposed to. The old Fords, and they did this on GMs as well. You get body flex up there in the front because of the torque of the engine, and I know this isn't exactly on topic here, but I figured better to say it, and I'll explain later. And more on this, but yeah, you could build them for ridiculous amounts of horsepower, but honestly, we'll go into more on that whole thing. But I'm actually breaking down the gray area of the performance world that most people have forgotten existed. Um, because there's just today it's just different levels of high performance, and there used to be a day and age when you could buy different levels of performance. There was your you know there was non-high performance, mid, and then of course high performance. And your high performance got was like 75, 200 and about 200 horses or better, and that was back in the 60s, and then it had to kind of change in the 70s, and I'll go into all that at a later date. And I'll actually explain in depth on that. It is what it is. Like, you used to be able to buy different engine, the same engine. It was the same engine, but it came with different setups. And most people have forgotten that stuff. So I'm actually going to explain that and then equate it to how we're going to look at. I'm going to warn you, Chairman, those engines can take a good beating, but the more you push them, the quicker it is to burn them up. It's one of the reasons why the engines of the 70s did last as long as they did, if they were well built. And more on that later. Because I'll actually pull a line from a movie that'll actually break that down. I don't need that much to make Project Spirit really get up and go. You don't need that much, but yeah. So basically, if he blows it up on the weekend, he's got all week to fix it again before he goes back to the drag strip. Smart thinking. Yeah, I don't want that as your daily driver. Passes everything but the gas station. So there you have that. Yeah. But no, yeah, this has been kind of a dead sober talk. It's not usual that this happens anymore. I don't know what to make of this. Of course, then again, I shared it out to a couple people, and a few people snuck in. It's going to be kind of, just one of those things. But no, like I said, we kind of past that point where, even Think Different, usually Think Different pokes his head in. So we haven't seen him. Still here? Okay, Simon, thank you. Even Princess Faye's not even on. Usually she's even on, but she hasn't even poked in and said hi to everybody. But I think she's drawing some right now. You're working? I got to give a shout out to the group because, I'm getting ready to go and edit a particular video after this. There's a particular video that I'm going to be working on after this. Deals with Storm Shield defense. like the introduction video where, uh, this is something so cool that I get to do now. I got friends from around the world. Really? He streamed? Holy shit. He streamed. Well, I don't think different. He's a really cool guy. Um, he actually, yeah, Mike G usually post. Well, everybody's probably still pretty tired because, you know, what Tuesday Night Madness, and then today we've got all the stuff from BUW, and is being released. So everybody's probably all wore out. Been in streams all week. I understand, honey. You know, like I said, it's the weather outside. Everyone's wanting to run off and go do something. Um, it is what it is. That's actually something that we're going to be working on soon. Um, I've been out doing. Matter of fact, I got a section of line because I was out working on Project Spirit last week. Still working out some bugs. Still working out bugs on that car. Um, got lots of projects to get kicked off this year. Matter of fact, this is actually part of a project that I've been wanting to work on soon. Thinking about cutting it down a little bit and turning it into a wooden mallet. I think that would be kind of cool. Turn it into a wooden mallet. Um, just say that I made one, did something different. Then I think it would be cool to add it to a toolbox, to actually add tools that I crafted myself, besides refurbished tools and things like that. I've been wanting to do stuff like that. I've got a lot of sobriety, stuff that, since I've been sober, it's like I want to do more, want to have, make stuff, build stuff. And, it's like the older I get, the more and more it's like, I think I'm about ready for retirement. I think is what it boils down to, you know. And of course we did the premiere. Well, oh, wow. I'll tell you right now. I mean, when we go to um I'm gonna have to do like a sciency sort of video on Project Spirit, some of the changes that we're looking at. Uh Basically you kind of get an idea, a direction that you want to go with your project. And I'm probably going to start working on some of that, but I've got to finish up some other content first before I can even get to that point, because that's been a problem. Is I've got a lot of ideas I start working on, but I got nothing finished. It's like that. Uh, just one of those things. But I know starting Saturday, I'm going to start setting up my uploads a week, like a week in advance. Start setting up uploads and things like that. Like Saturday night, Princess Faye will be at work. Well, at that time, when I go to bed, I need to start uploading videos and setting the dates that they'll be released. Um, like I've got a baked bean episode that I've got to release for urban survival. And the recipe kind of dates back a little history, there, which is kind of cool. I like my history. And that's going to kind of kick off that series a little bit better, urban survival. Crafting your own stuff that you could sell, just things like that, or refurbishing stuff, and that you could sell, or making things that you could sell, just that sort of thing. Ah, yeah. It reminds me, I've got some stuff I got to look at tonight. I'll take a minute and slow down, hopefully. But yeah, this is one of them things, man. Um, you know, lots of projects that I've wanted to start kicking off. I'm 15 years sober. I should be allowed to kick these projects off. These are things that I have been wanting to do for a minute. Um, and now I have that opportunity. I have that opportunity to start kicking off projects and working on things that I have been wanting to do for a little while. Um, like one of the things that I have been wanting to do for urban survival is basically doing it on the tightest budget possible and learning how to, basically show that you can do yeah, there's a lot of stuff in urban survival that I have been wanting to do, which I got that series kind of sort of started a little bit. But we might knock off a little early tonight so I can go get to work on some stuff. But yeah, which reminds me, the camera's up. No, the camera's in the other room. You know, I'll be honest with you. Let me break it down kind of like this. Um, there's a guy that comes in here every now and again. About once a week, I get to see him. A guy known as Third Gen 83. And he comes in and he'll look at different, a lot of my stuff. And I know the guy. I've talked to him over the phone and I've picked his brain on so many things. And he always talks about how he appreciates my sobriety because he's had a friend that for years, this guy would not get sober, still not sober. And this guy's going to probably die drunk, horrible as it sounds. And it's sad. Every Wednesday night, he basically, has a conversation with his drunk buddy, and the guy's got a business, but can't really make any money because, he's always drinking. The guy's going to live like this. Well, um, Third Gen and I, he comes in and, you know, he's, I imagine he'll probably poke in like if he doesn't, he'll probably poke in at some point. But um, he's got a really cool Maverick that he could probably teach some people some cool stuff. But then at the same time, he's got an '83 Pontiac Trans Am, gorgeous looking ride that he's working on. That his Maverick he's had for years, and then of course the Trans Am, he's had it for a while, but then started working on it as recent, and could probably teach a lot of really cool DIY stuff that he's learned over the years, how to fix this and how to repair that and, restoration stuff and really give people a good inside track. Well, there's the problem. He doesn't feel he could do YouTube, because YouTube, it used to be you could just grab a camera, film something, you were done. Well, if you want to make it on YouTube anymore, you got to kind of actually put some editing skill in. So it's just one of those things that, I guess you could say that, he's, very talented, but it doesn't translate very well. All of his gifts and talents, he doesn't feel he doesn't feel he would have that on camera presence. Or they just don't have enough confidence in themselves. And see, with me, when I started doing it, I started off, and the original video that we did here on YouTube, my very original video, it's still there. You can watch it anytime you want. My original video goes way, way back. Gosh, almost 10 years ago. And it's a good video. It's a good video. I put it up, and it was kind of one of those things that someone basically tagged kind of everybody. If you're watching this video, you're tagged. Okay. Okay. Well, mine was kind of, mine was, and it's like, well, I think I could do better. And then, and it just kept going. I think I could do better. I think I could do better. And then, I kind of started developing that on-camera presence and learning how to work with editing equipment and things like that. And Next thing you know, if you take my early edited content and compare it to today, oh man, and that's just the process of learning. I remember having Sober Man look at some of my early stuff, and he is like, you could really tell that there is talent there. He said, but you got a ways to go. Of course, today, um, stuff I do today is like 1,000 times better than what it was way back when. I'm actually really proud. Even my openings, the way that the channel opens up is really neat, because I knew how I wanted it to look, and of course now the way that it looks is just, and that's just again, the whole thing with sobriety. I put a lot of time and effort in. That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. I did that. I did a video not too long ago. That um, honestly, that was probably really. I mean, if you were to twist my arm and ask me my favorite video here on the channel, it's do-it-yourself budget hot rodding, a birthday to remember, and with the autistic kid. Which I haven't seen him in a long time. I wonder how he's doing. But I know when that video went up, oh my gosh, he told all of his friends at school, "You guys are not going to believe this." And he showed that video, and he just thought that was really huge for him. And that was probably the coolest video I had ever done, ever, in the whole wide world. That's the coolest video, and that was all the way back in 2018 when I did that video, and that thing was huge. And I know it's still a very popular video. And Chairman, I know you've seen that video. That was a good video, you know. I'm hoping the day comes when I can do something like that again. I know that that'll eventually come to pass. There was one day that, and see, these are things I get to do in sobriety, you know. There's actually a day, I wish I had the camera rolling, but there was a kid in the neighborhood that his dad really didn't have a whole lot to do with him. And sometimes it still happens where, some, you wouldn't think of it, but basically the kid's dad was MIA permanently, sort of thing. Like he just took off and really had nothing to do with his then, well, now ex and his child. Basically took off and that was it. Well, because of this, um, and these are things I get to do in sobriety. This little guy, more or less, sometimes he, was kind of, I wouldn't say shunned by the other kids, but it was kind of one of those things. Oh, it's him, you know, yeah, so he really didn't have any of the bragging, the cool bragging rights like the other kids. Oh, I did this with my dad, sort of thing. No real solid memories of his dad. And I was out there working on Spirit and had her running pretty good. And this was after one of the major breakdowns, but things were coming together. I said, "Hey, buddy, we'll take a ride." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Better get permission from your mom." Went up, told mom. I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And took him around the block a couple of times. All the kids seen him in the cool old car that everyone thinks is so cool in the neighborhood. All the neighborhood kids seen him hanging with me in Project Spirit. Immediately, he was the cool kid. He got to be the cool kid for a little while. You know, so there's another one of those moments I got to do something. I wish I had the camera going to make a good video out of it. Or teaching all the kids, about cars, having a video teaching about history. This is some of the stuff that I've wanted to do, but not had the chance. I've got a video idea. I got to call the fire department and the police department to get their help with a video idea of mine, which I know the chief would probably definitely do it. Um, but yeah, basically, something for the family. I don't do kid content, but I'd like to do family content. It's actually something on my to-do list. Just cool stuff that I've always wanted to do. You know, I know I'll never be a Mr. Rogers, that's for sure, but it could teach families some cool stuff. But any hoop-de-doo. It's been kind of a dead stream, so we're probably gonna let out a little early. But again, March 20th was Tanya's anniversary of her passing, and she totally, yeah, this I've been kind of another reason why I've tried to stay kind of quiet because what's really, I knew that somebody would probably, kind of bring it up, and I really didn't want to have to talk a whole lot about it. I really didn't want to have to talk a whole lot about it. I talked about it, wow. I hate to hear that, man. Um, so that's just, there's some things like that, that uh, so I mean, you really wouldn't think it'd be a thing nowadays, but sometimes it is. So I've actually had the opportunity to kind of, help some of the other neighborhood kids that, just one of those things, you know. But anyhow, so it's been a nice quiet stream. I don't like them this quiet. I like a little bit of excitement going on, but hey, sometimes you got to have those things to remind you that you're not as big as you think you are. A little bit of humility goes a long ways. So, I this has been a quite humbling experience, I guess you could say, to say the least. And looking at it, I'm probably going to have what I call a 3-to-1 return. I'll have to explain all of that at a later date. But anyhow, before I begin rambling, um, again, there is a link in the description box if you want yourself some pretty sweet Prince Magnum channel merch. There's Project Spirit logo coffee, logo merch. There's exclusive Princess Faye merch on there with her artwork, which of course this is her artwork anyways, but there's other exclusive Princess Faye artwork. This is her stuff. You can't get it anywhere else except on this store. Okay? It is a little bit pricey, but I will tell you, a friend of mine actually explained in great detail, Jam and John, he actually explained in a live stream, when you're talking exclusive artwork, yeah, it is worth it. Okay? Because you're not going to find it anywhere else. You're going to find it only on that link. About 40 to 45% of all the proceeds will go back into the Prince Magnum channel. Okay. There you have it. That's just kind of how it rolls. So, to kind of give you guys a heads up what to expect for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Friday, is Faye's Corner. I'm not sure what Princess Faye is doing, but it's going to be her show. Saturday, Cinnamon Live. Sunday is probably going to be an upload. I'm not sure. Monday, definitely that's my upload day. That's premiere Mondays. Sunday, we might start trying to premiere some stuff, or we might go live and that sort of thing. Wow. That's probably one of the douchiest things. He could, yeah. That's Yeah. Well, that's the excuse he'll give. But I have another way I look at it. All righty. Don't even get me started on that. So guys. Where was I? And then Wednesday, we're probably going to start grinding back the usual on Wednesday. So it's just been kind of a slow down week for me. But right now, we're kind of building up the content, getting it ready to go. I've got a lot of stuff to edit. So I'm going to take the time and do just that. We're going to get it edited out and everything. It's going to be good times. So, okie dokie. I've had a lot of fun. It's been a quiet stream. Um, Talked a little bit about life and, things that I've want to do in sobriety, you know, and things that I've even dealt with in sobriety. You know, sober talk has a lot to do with life. I live life and I do it without a drink or a drug. Yeah, I know y'all mentioned the smoking and the coffee, but honestly, in the light of what I'm discussing, we're talking about certain things that, you know, yeah, yeah. Actually, there's a whole thing about Roundup, right? Well, Chairman, I would hope, I was hoping to get to work on a new series, uh, but I have to put it on hold while I work on a series that I was supposed to be kind of letting go away. So I have to get to work on that soon. It is what it is. But that does bring us to a good stopping point. Again, as a reminder, if you were here today or you're watching the playback, you're helping me stay sober. So if you wondered whether or not you were worth anything, you're worth it because you've been here helping support me, helping me stay sober, even if it is. I will, Simon. Thank you. And it's good that you guys were here. You know, so as that reminder for all of you, if you wondered if you were worth anything, you are worth something. You're helping me reach out to other people, and that is just as important. So, with that being said, as we get to close out, and we do it, we let out a certain way here on Sober Talk, and it goes a little something like this. At day's end, I hope all of you need me as much as I need you. And thank you, Simon. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.